Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by today for another tutorial. I welcome all my new subscribers and my old subscribers. I appreciate everyone. In today's tutorial, I'll show you how to make this easy and beautiful cowl kaftan. I will demonstrate how to cut it first on a paper. Okay, so now let's assume that this is your fabric. So you open up your fabric and fold it into two like this. So after you fold it into two, you go ahead and fold it again, and now you have four places. So the fabric is now folded into four places. All right, so make sure that your fabric are lined. If you have any selvage edge, go ahead and cut that out. Okay, so once you finish with that, you're going to measure from the back of your neck to where you want your sleeve to end. So from the back of your neck, you measure it down to where you want your sleeve to end on your arm. All right, so once you get that measurement, go ahead and place it just like I'm showing you here, and you mark that out. So for me, I have 25 inches, okay? So after that, I am going to mark my neckline. I'm using 3 inches by 3 inches for the front neckline. And I will use 3 inches by 1.5 inches for the back neckline. And then after that, I come down by 1.5 inches. So you go to the end of your fabric and you mark down 1.5 inches, and that's the shoulder sleeve. I connected it to the neckline. Okay, so now the next thing is to measure from your shoulder to your hip line. So mine is at 24 inches and I'll mark it there. And then from your shoulder to knee line, which is 34 inches, and then shoulder to hemline. After that, I go ahead and extend all the lines. So I'm going to mark my hip line, and then my knee line and my hemline. So the total length I was working with is 60 inches for my dress. So after that, now on the hip line, I divided the hip measurement by 4, and then I added 3 inches for ease. I mark it on the hip line, the knee line, and also the hemline. Then I extended that line. So now I'm going to measure where I want my sleeve to end, the sleeve round. So I'm going to use the whole length. I'm not going to divide that into two. So for me, that was 18 inches, and I marked that 18 inches as my as my armhole round, because I'm going to add elastic to the sleeve. Okay, so whatever measurement you get for yours, make sure you mark it, and once you mark it, you're going to curve the side like I just showed you. So once you curve it, go ahead and cut out the back neckline, and then the shoulder slope. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut out the hemline and then the sides, then onto the armhole where I marked my armhole to start. Okay, and I'll cut it out like this. So the reason why I'm showing you guys on my paper is because my fabric is kind of very printed and it's very difficult to see. Okay, so once I finish cutting it out, I took out the front, and then I'm going to cut out the neckline, and then I've labeled this as my back. And then on the back, from the center back, I went down by about 5 inches, and then I'm going to split it open because I will add my a string in the back from the neck. Okay, so this is what you're going to have at the end of the day once you finish cutting it out on your fabric. Then you're going to join the shoulders first. Then from the armhole area, you join it all the way down to the hem. And that's basically it. It's very, very easy to do. So now I'm going to go repeat the process on my fabric. Like I say, I showed you guys on the paper because my fabric it's very difficult to see the markings. Okay, so I have folded my fabric into 4 like I showed you on the paper. So I folded it into 2. Now I folded it into 4 because I'm cutting out the back and the front together. Okay. And then I measure my length. Like I said, the length of my dress is 60 inches plus 1 inch for seam allowance. All right. Okay, so once I do that and I measure the back of my arm, the back of my neck to my arm where I want it to start. Okay. And now I'm going to mark out the neckline, which is 3 inches by 3 inches for the front, and then 3 inches by 1.5 inch for the back. And that's what I just marked there. And then I come down by 1.5 inches for the shoulder slope. Then I'm going to extend that line. Okay. So now I am going to measure from my shoulder to my hip, which is 24 inches. Then shoulder to my knee, which is 34 inches. And I will extend those lines. Now I'm going to divide my hip measurement by 4, which is 11 inches plus 3 inches for seam allowance and ease. It gives me 14 inches. So that's what I marked on the hip line, on the knee line, and also on the hem line. Now I extended the lines. Okay, so once I finish extending the lines, I'm going to measure my my armhole, the armhole round. Mine is 18 inches, and I mark it right there. And then I came in by 1/2 inch, and then I made a curve, and then I'm going to make a curve like so and connect it to the knee line. So from there you make a curve and connect it to the knee line, just like I showed you now. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to add elastic to my own kaftan. All right, so after that I go ahead and I'm going to cut out the back. I'll cut out the back first. So you cut out the back neckline, you cut out the sides just like this. You follow the curve and cut it all the way to the armhole. Okay. All right, so once I finish with that, I am going to go ahead and remove the front. Then I'll cut out the front neckline. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out the front neckline. All right. So once I finish cutting it out, I am going to go ahead and join the shoulder first. So I'm going to pin the shoulders together. Place the front and the back together at the shoulder. Right sides facing each other, like so. And make sure you align the neckline. And then I'm going to pin down the shoulders. And I'll do the same for the other side. Okay, like so. Okay, make sure you pin it well. And then after that, from the armhole where I made a slight curve, I am going to pin it down as well, and pin it down all the way to the hemline. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to take it to my sewing machine and sew it. I will sew the shoulder, and then I'll sew the sides all the way to the hemline. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I have joined it together on the shoulder and also on the sides. And I also made a split in the back. I made a split in the back for so that my head can go through it. So you can measure and decide how many inches you want to make the split. But I used 5 inches for myself. And this is the sleeve. So for the sleeve, like I said, I'm going to use the elastic for the sleeve for me. So I'm going to fold into one and then fold it again. I will sew all around to make my elastic casing. Okay, so if you don't want to use an elastic, you can also use a band. In that case, you make a gather and add the band. Okay, so this is the split I made in the back. And like I said, I made about 5 inches, but you can make about 6 inches if you want. So at the end of the day, this is what the dress is looking like. I've made my elastic casing, and I left an opening where I will insert the elastic. And then I used the bias strip, and I finished up the back neckline where I made the split. So now the next thing is that I'm going to use my tape measure. I'm going to measure around my neckline from back all the way around. And once whatever measurements I got, I note that down. So I'm going to attach this neck band so that I will have a leftover to put in to tie it in the back. Okay, so the total length I'm using is about 60 inches, and it's 6 inches when you open it up, and then when you fold it is at 3 inches. Okay, so that's what I have right here. So now I'm going to fold it into 2 to get the midpoint, and then I made a slit on the band. Now I'm going to fold my dress as well so that I can get the midpoint. Fold it like so. Then make a notch on the midpoint like so. Okay, so I'm going to match it together with my neck band, and I will pin it down. I will go ahead and pin it down. So I will open up my one part of the band like I'm showing you here. So I will pin that one down. That's what I'm going to sew all around the neckline to create the high neck effect. All right, so after I pin it down, I'm going to sew it, and after sewing it, I now use the top band to cover up the seam allowance so that it can be very neat. All right, so watch closely again. I'm going to open up one part of the band, and then I'll pin it all around my neckline. Keep pinning it until you get to the back. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel, share my channel, share my video, because sharing is caring. And I do appreciate everyone so far for all your support, all your comments, likes, and your inputs in all my videos. I sincerely appreciate everyone. Okay, so after I finish pinning it, like I said, I'm going to sew that down, and then I will use the top and then cover up the seam to finish it up neatly. And then this is how much I have left over in the back to be able to tie it in the back. Okay, and then after that I am going to go ahead and attach my elastic, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. Okay, this is my neck band. I finished attaching it, and this is what it's looking like. And this portion will be the one to tie. I will tie in the back. Keep in mind that you can also make yours to be in the front if you wish. Okay, now for the elastic, I measure around I measure around my arm where I want it to end. It's about 9 inches, but I'm going to subtract 2 inches and cut out 7 inches because I want the elastic to be snug. Okay, so you measure it and minus 2 inches from that measurement and use that to cut out the elastic. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. Instead of cutting the 9 inches that I measured round, I'm going to cut out 7 inches so that when I insert the elastic in my sleeve, it will be very snug on my arm. Okay, and I'll do that. I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the dress after I have finished, and it came out really nice. And yes, this is the end of the tutorial, guys. Please share my video, like, comment, and if there's any style that you guys want me to make, please be sure to let me know, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye.